The Panamint Mountains are located about 2.5 hours north of Los Angeles or about 45 minutes north of Ridgecrest. Our video begins with an easy trip through Goler Wash. Before entering Death Valley and reaching our campsite for the night, we stopped to visit Charles Manson's hideout. Returning to the old ghost town of Ballarat, our vehicles move on to explore progressively harder trails, Pleasant Canyon, Happy Canyon, and finally the granddaddy of them all, Surprise Canyon. To reach the top of Surprise Canyon, you'll need to winch your vehicle over 7 waterfalls, a real challenge for even the best drivers in their vehicles. You'll watch in amazement as each vehicle scratches its way over the falls. After reaching the top of Surprise Canyon, we'll show you around the old ghost town of Panamint City. Fortunately, there's only one way into Panamint City, and that's through Surprise Canyon. This video has something in it for everybody. Moab, Utah is located at the base of the La Salle Mountains along the Colorado River. The town's friendly attitude toward outdoor recreationists is as refreshing as the spectacular scenery. River rafters navigate the waters of the nearby Colorado and Green Rivers, while mountain bikers, motorcyclists, and four-wheelers eagerly meet the challenging terrain on surrounding trails. During Easter vacation, we traveled some of the toughest trails Utah has to offer. With well-equipped vehicles and experienced drivers, we climbed over ledges and slid off of steps on trails rated 4+ by the Red Rock four-wheelers. If you're an outdoor enthusiast, you'll be planning your own trip to Moab after watching this video. The Baja 500 race is the most exciting off-road race in the world. The high-dollar racing teams will go to any extent to keep their vehicles in the race. Follow our group of 11 vehicles as we cross the border into Mexico and travel along the coast to Ensenada, where we check out the race vehicles firsthand. You'll view the race as we did from our campsite alongside the course. After the race, we set out across the Sierra Juarez Mountains to do some backcountry exploring of our own. After watching this video, you may just find yourself planning your own trip into the Baja of Mexico. The Doozy Trail is located 2.5 hours from Fresno in the Sierra Nevada mountains. The trail begins at Courtright Reservoir and snakes between the Dinky Creek and John Muir Wilderness areas on a 600-foot corridor. You'll see 10 well-equipped vehicles scale Chicken Rock, climb Thompson Hill, and work together to make vehicle repairs. Is this trail tough? Of our 7 members who had run the Rubicon, all 7 said the Doozy Trail was more challenging. So we'll let you be the judge. Hi, my name is Rick Russell. I'm publisher of Sidekick Off-Road Maps. I've been coming up to here to the spectacular San Bernardino Mountains for over 20 years. You know, In Southern California, we probably have more off-road opportunities than anywhere else in the world. So why don't you come join me as we explore just a few of the many trails here in these San Bernardino mountains. We're on our way to the Holcomb Valley Trail. It's a self-guided tour. And we're stopped here on 2N09, just a little ways off the main highway to lower our air pressure. We're going to go up through what I consider an easy trail. It's a circle. And we're going to head right on up 2N09 here through Holcomb Valley. And there are several numbered spots along the way, including Two Gun Bill's Saloon. And so we're going to be able to stop and see that as we go through the Holcomb Valley self-guided tour. The tour actually ends on the far side at a mine, and we're going to take some flashlights and go check out the mine while we're up here today. So again, this is an easy trip, and it's a Holcomb Valley self-guided tour. They have signposts. And the signposts will say like number 1, and then that's a certain thing. And then you go there, and there's another sign. There's a parking area. I mean, it's pretty formal the way the Forest Service has set it up. Number 2 on the Holcomb Valley Trail, and this is a placer mine. In this mine down here, they actually dig down to the bedrock, then chip the bedrock away with picks and dynamite, and then they would process that at one of the 3 towns. There were actually 3 different towns here in Holcomb Valley where they discovered gold. They discovered gold back here in about 1860 when a guy named Bill Holcomb was bear hunting, and he came on over the valley from Big Bear, and then he found this area. But they have these placer mines all over this area, and if you just start walking off, you can find these mines. And once all these claims were done, then they started going off and drilling holes in the sides of mountains. And we're going to go visit one of those mines today where they actually went in a little bit later. So we'll head up there. I believe there are about 12 of these stopping points. You can stop your vehicle and take a look. It's a year-round park. Well, we're here. We made it to Two Gun Bill's Saloon. So come on, let's walk down to the few logs that are left, guys. And Two Gun Bill's Saloon used to be a meeting place for the miners that lived back in here at the time, and it was kind of the dance hall and the meeting hall, and they'd decide who they were going to hang, which they did on many occasions. And all that's left now is a few logs. It's unbelievable. I don't know how high it really was, but this is pretty big. There's another cabin they call Pygmy Cabin, which is, the frame is there, the foundation is still there with a little fireplace. Incredibly small, and you wonder, they call it Pygmy Cabin because they still never figured out, you know, why it was built so small, so they just kind of chalked it off to a pygmy lived there. So we're leaving Two Gun Bill's Saloon, which is number 3 on the Holcomb Valley self-guided tour. We're going to head on down here, and there's a number 4 over here, which is Jonathan Tibbetts Mill. There actually was a mill up here, and the guy's name was Jonathan Tibbetts. And we'll pass it up here on the left. There'll be another parking area for it. That'll be number 4. There's still some private property up here as well, and you see some of this is fenced off. And the miners, there are a number of miners that have claims up here that are still valid. In fact, there is a Holcomb Valley Mining Association up here. We're a little over 7,000 feet in this high valley meadow. You can see that the road is pretty well maintained, so this is a good road across here. Yeah, this is the what's left of the little gold town of Bellevue. There were actually 600 people that lived in this, and this was the largest town that we had. Behind that is an arraster. And then we just came through Holcomb Creek over there, which was where Bill Holcomb had his original diggings and found gold for the first time in 1860 in Holcomb Valley. We're right here at Ross's grave, which is number 9 on the self-guided tour. And you just walk back through those trees, and there's an old grave back there where Ross was a lumberman, and he was killed when a tree fell on him. And his buddies just buried him on the spot. And over the years, the grave's been maintained. Now it has a fence around it, and there's pine cones over it, but it's still there. We're coming up here to Minsker Mine. It's up here on the left, and it is one of the original mines up here that we could still walk in. The other placer mines were holes that were dug straight down, but this is actually a shaft where you can go into a shaft. So we're gonna go in here and check out this shaft. Tim in the cabin, which he didn't find for several weeks later. So the thought is that is before entering any mine, check out the stability of the entrance and always carry a flashlight to watch for vertical shafts.
Yeah, that's some hard shit. It goes another 50 feet at least. Are you sure there's a dance hall at the end?
What kind of hole? That is dark. Oh, this is it. Candles. He was getting worn out as he moved back here because he didn't dig the hole as deep. That's high.
Do you know also that this thing's going in a circle? It's going in a big...
Well, maybe we could finish the dig and dig it out.
Yeah, right.
Make the next blast.
Yeah, I see. Oh, that's right. Then they had to run like the dickens to get out of here when they were blasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. Can you imagine the headache you'd have to get out of here?
Well, a little higher here. Now that we've completed the Holcomb Valley trip, I'll show you its location on the Sidekick map. Take Highway 18 on the north side of the lake, past Fawnskin over to the Holcomb Valley Road, also marked 2N09. From here, turn left or north and follow the signs in the Holcomb Valley. The self-guided tour is further explained in the upper right-hand corner of this map. The numbered signpost at each point of interest corresponds to the numbers on this inset map. Each point of interest is further explained within the text of this Sidekick map. Hi Ken, how are you?
Hey Rick, glad to see you.
Good to see you again. Well, I guess we're all set up. We got, what, 12 vehicles today?
That's right.
To go across the White Mountain Trail. Now the trail itself, maybe you could tell us a little bit about how it starts out here. It starts here in Coyote Flats, you called it?
Right, this flat here, which is not too flat, but for some reason they decided to call it Coyote Flats, and I've never seen a coyote either. But the trail starts, our adopted trail starts at 4N16 and 3N17. That's what this trail is marked.
And the actual, yeah, so the White Mountain Trail is actually 3N17.
Exactly.
Okay. So we start through Coyote Flats and then we climb to the top of the ridge?
Right, we come to a point called Windy Point,
Okay.
and you'll know when we get there. You got to hang on to your hat.
Okay.
Then it takes an east-west direction. It's basically a ridge trail, and it's right on the edge of the White Mountain area. So the view is fantastic of the valleys below.
Sounds
really
great.
super.
Now, how do you maintain this trail? I mean, in terms of what rating do you give this trail?
Well, the Forestry Service sees fit to say more difficult for Jeeps, and that's basically what we are, four-wheel drive club. And basically that's what it is, but you have your choice in several spots to hit some of these challenges. One we call Cal 3-wheel. We'll get into that later, why it's called Cal 3-wheel.
Sure.
And Suicide Hill, and we'll explain that as we go.
Okay.
But there are go-arounds for people who are not quite sure on how to make it. If they're not sure of themselves or the vehicle, don't try it.
Okay. Well, let's get going.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Here we are climbing up out of Coyote Flats. We're headed up toward Windy Point.
Up ahead here, we're going to hit a hill pretty quick that may send your wheels spinning a little bit. And if you're tricked out, got a posi or air down, you'll make it no problem. See the vehicles down below starting to climb up.
Well, we've just climbed up out of Coyote Flats, and now we're sitting at Windy Point. And you can see that we've got the desert floor. This would be the high desert, so that's Lucerne Valley in our foreground there. Now we're up on the ridge, and the White Mountain Trail will follow the ridge along past White Mountain and South Peak. And that's where we're headed now that we've got up here. This is also a real good place to stop and have lunch. It is called Windy Point for a reason. Usually in the afternoon when the desert floor heats up, the wind will whip up here pretty good. Also in the wintertime you'll find snow up here, which will change this terrain somewhat and change it from a more difficult to a most difficult and sometimes impassable at all with snow because the drifts are too deep. At this point where the trail splits is called Cal 3-wheel on the left
and the main trail splits off to the right. If you have any doubts about this, please take the right. It's a go-around. It comes, just loops around to the other side of this hill. Okay, we're just about ready to winch up. This is the final phase of the connection. That CJ5 is going to anchor onto this Jeep, so he won't slide into the vehicle he's winching. Heidi's got both feet on the brake over here on the Golden Eagle, and Dale is just starting to winch Cal up the hill. And we'll do this in stages. Many times a winch will come in handy, but that's usually the last toy you buy for your vehicle.
Well, we've just passed the three-wheeler hill, Cal three-wheel hill as it's called, and now we've come up to Suicide Hill. You can see Suicide Hill off to the distance there. That is a bypass road, Suicide Hill, and it's a challenging road for experienced drivers and riders. But there is the main trail, the main White Mountain Trail, follows a much easier path around the rim of that mountain and on over, and top of Suicide and the main trail, White Mountain Trail, will meet each other at the top. The loose rock at the bottom of Suicide Hill will challenge most vehicles and their drivers. Positive traction, larger tire sizes, and low air pressure will all help you successfully climb this hill. Got to get the bite. He's got to get bite. See how he didn't get up? He didn't give up. Hey! But you don't.
The wheel, getting another grip on it.
Well, that's what you did. You turned the wheel and got another grip.
Mike's looking good.
Does he have positive in the back?
He put a locker in the back. I don't know what he put in the front. We're good, dude. Go for it.
What we've done to this Pathfinder is we broke a tie rod in. We don't have another tie rod in, so we've got this splint. It's angle iron with 2 holes drilled in it. We had a battery drill which we drilled through and put these grade 8 bolts through with nuts on the ends. And now we're just putting one clamp on here to hold it. You'll take it out of 4-wheel drive so it doesn't put any extra pressure on this wheel. And we should be able to drive it off the mountain where he can get it welded before he starts down the hill. Yeah, David, the tree is starting to go over the edge of someone's bridge. We're at the intersection of a short little cutover road at the base of Half Mile Hill. And this short little cutover road to the right will take you down to 3N16. So if you want to leave the White Mountain Trail, then you can go ahead and cut over to 3N16 and head back on a graded road. But if you want to continue the White Mountain Trail to the full extent, you continue straight across this saddle and up what's called Half Mile Hill, which is what the vehicles in front of us are preparing to do. Ken, thanks again. I appreciate you bringing Orange County Foreplay up here and walking us through the your adopted trail of White Mountain. Now that we've finished the White Mountain Trail, let me show you its location on the Sidekick map. The beginning of the White Mountain Trail is at 4N16 and 3N17. The trail runs across Coyote Flats on its way up to Windy Point. From Windy Point, it travels along the ridge overlooking the desert, passing Cal 3-Wheel Hill, Suicide Hill, and finally reaching Half Mile Hill. From the top of Half Mile Hill, it's an easy trip back down to 4N16 and the end of the trail. Good morning, Willie.
Hi, Rick.
How are you doing?
Real good this morning.
Willie is the president of the Rim of the World 4-Wheel Drive Club, and we're up here to have a personal guided tour through the 3N34 trail, also known as Dishpan Springs. And Willie is going to give us that tour, and they've put together a trail guide, and you have a, just what would you call this, Willie?
Well, an information sign, I would say. We've put this up through the Adopt a Trail program with the cooperation of the U.S. Forest Service. What we've done in here is that we've developed a trail guide that pretty much explains the trail, gives you an idea of what you can expect on it. The Forest Service has several Adopt a Trail programs. In this particular one, we try to maintain this trail in between a Class 3 and a Class 5 condition, which means it's the most difficult trail. We like to consider it the most difficult trail in the San Bernardino Mountains.
Sounds good. And I think you've got a map in here and directions, and you also have numbers along the way. So why don't we get started and we'll follow along.
Let's do it.
Okay, thanks.
Pretty gnarly, and in places it is.
Feel free to guide me, Willie. I'll just kind of take my own line here.
This is kind of your own line. There's really no easy way up here. But as you notice, if you just go up it easy, there's no slipping, no spinning of the tires. It's really not a problem. they feel that they got it made, and then they get up here a little farther, and up above the dish pan, we have a point up here referred to as turnaround.
No. Yes, I run 410s, and then with this Muncie 465 with that granny low, works pretty good. Yeah, it's that multi-leaf suspension. At first I didn't like all those leaves in there, but once I've driven it a few times and used it, boy, that's just the way to go. You get a nice soft ride on the street. This trail, Willie?
We figured it out, and I've come over this trail just under 50 times. You learn it after a while.
The only difference is other people come up here and move the rocks around on you.
Sure do. Well, we've just passed Dishpan Springs, which would be below us. We've come up here. We're parked at turnaround. This is a good point to stop, park, get out, and look at the trail at the hill behind us. This is a pretty intimidating trail for the first-time off-roader or the first-time person on this trail.
Can you give us some idea what's the best way to approach this? I'm looking at the falls. It looks like there's several paths. You can either stay over against the embankment, or you can stay to the left, which I see some brush in the way on the left.
Well, on the left is kind of a twisty, gnarly route. If you take the left route, you have to be real careful and tread lightly because of the loose terrain. The right route going up the falls looks the most difficult, but actually it's the easiest because of the hard surface.
Yeah. This is the dry fall. This section of 3 and 34 is open to both OHVs and four-wheel drives. So pause along the trail and watch the other vehicles fight their way to the top. the stretch, Dishpan Springs. This is a great trail ride. It is a diamond though, that's the most difficult trail that I find. We came in off of 3N34 Dishpan Springs through here, and these are the mini campsites here in Crab Flats. There's 29 campsites here. They have water, and there's also a comfort station. That's open pit toilets, by the way. Nice thing about the campground is you can tow up here. It's about 4 miles on a graded road to get into this area. And you can tow up here with a tent or your trailer, offload your motorcycles and ATVs, and then use this as a kicking off area, and then ride all the trails. You can ride trails over to Big Bear if you go east, or if you head west, you can drive over into the Lake Arrowhead area, and you can access the Lake Arrowhead trail system. Now that we've completed the section of 3N34 called Dishpan Springs, let me show you its location on the Sidekick map. The trail begins here as 3N34 crosses Deep Creek. Winter snows and spring runoffs may make Deep Creek impassable, but during the summer months the creek is easily crossed. This trail is rated most difficult. And as you make your way over to Crab Flats, you'll pass a section known as Dry Falls and Dishpan Springs. Once in Crab Flats, you can find your way back to pavement on one of several graded dirt roads. Well, we made it to the John Bull Trail. We're up here at the John Bull Trail. It's called that because it's John Bull Flats at the top, which is on the topo maps as John Bull Flats. So the trail goes across, and this is probably one of the rougher trails they have at Big Bear. But most of the old four-wheelers will tell you John Bull starts here. It goes about halfway, and there's a way you can get out on 3N32, and then you can continue on the John Bull Trail, which is 3N10, and it goes all the way through and ends up on the west side of Holcomb Valley. And that's what we're going to do today. We have 4 vehicles here, and they're all set up, and we're going to have a pretty good time going across. Take a poll here. What would be the first thing that you think somebody should buy when they go down and buy a brand new 4-wheel drive vehicle? What should be the first thing?
They ought to get some choice to this, the first thing they ought to do, and then the second thing they should do is raise it up. The third thing is put the tires on it.
Okay, we're in 4-wheel drive, and we want to get the lowest gear that we've got in the vehicle. On these steep rock inclines, you don't want to go fast because you don't want to break anything. So you keep it in as low a gear as you can go. And then you just let the vehicle creep over the top. Try not to jerk it, you try not to give it too much gas at any one time in order to keep it from spinning the tires, because you really don't want to spin the tires. You try to slow down the vehicle so that it doesn't spin the tires. And we're coming up to a steeper section, but we need to make sure that all the vehicles get past the last section before we go any further. Near the end of the John Bull Trail is a great campsite with a spectacular view of the desert from nearly 8,000 feet. Now that we've completed the John Bull Trail, I'll show you its location on the Sidekick map. The first stretch of the trail runs between 3N02 and 3N32. The road climbs over several small hills before reaching 3N32, but nothing very radical. The second part of the John Bull Trail is rough, rated most difficult. It winds up over several rocky hills at an elevation of 8,000 feet before reaching 3N43 on the west side of the Holcomb Valley Campground. From here, it's an easy shot out to the pavement on either 2N09 or 3N09. Behind Lake Arrowhead is a complete set of OHV trails. These OHV trails wind through the forest, connecting with other roads and trails that can lead you down the Lake Silverwood or over to the west end of Holcomb Valley. This OHV trail system can be accessed from the Pinnacle staging area located on the north side of Lake Arrowhead, just off Highway 173, the Crab Flats Campground at the intersection of 3N34 and 3N16 near the Green Valley Road, or the Big Pines Campground at the intersection of 3N16 and 3N14. For more information and a detailed map, refer to the Sidekick's Lake Arrowhead Trail System map.
Yeah, we're going to replant this whole hillside with the cooperation of the Forest Service.
Oh, that's pretty nice. Will they provide you the trees and stuff?
They're providing the trees. I think the trees are coming from up north. There'll be a drought-resistant and bug-resistant type of species of pine that they'll plant in here. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of erosion over the years that'll drain down into Deep Creek. As you know, Deep Creek's a natural trout stream, and so they want to try to keep the erosion and the silting of the stream as little as possible.
You know, I think I read somewhere where it's only one of 2 natural trout streams in California.
Very easily could be. They have a real strong catch and release program here. And it's a barbless hook, flies only.
Oh, it's barbless. I knew that you can't use any
Live
bait, no live bait.
It's barbless only, and most people adhere to the catch and release policy. There is a limit of 2 fish per day.
Ah. Have you ever fished it yourself?
No, I never have, but
You know,
it's
I
a real
haven't.
popular spot,
I've seen
especially for the catch and release people.